The next stage of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority's rollout is underway. A countdown appearing on the Visit Las Vegas website today, ticking down to the start of a first-ever citywide sale.
Las Vegas, a city built on bigger bets and even bigger giveaways, just pulled the unthinkable. Its first-ever citywide fabulous 5-day sale. On paper, it's a rescue. Up to 50% off rooms, prime rib dinners for $15.99, resort fees magically disappearing. But behind the $35 million campaign lies a brutal truth. Vegas is bleeding nearly 1 million visitors compared to last year, as $50 resort fees and $40 parking drove away the loyal crowds who once built this empire. Why would the world's gambling capital need a desperate coupon blitz just to fill empty casinos? The answer reveals how Vegas broke the trust that made it king, and what happens next when the odds finally turn. Days before the citywide liquidation, the Strip is blanketed in a riot of purple banners and LED billboards. Every marquee flashes the same message: welcome to fabulous savings. For 5 days, the city's most famous hotels, Caesars, MGM, the Venetian, the Strat, are slashing prices like it's Black Friday, not the shoulder season. Room rates drop by half. Prime rib returns to $15.99, a price not seen since the Clinton era. Helicopter tours that once cost $200 now go for half. Even the dreaded resort fees, $50 a night, the fee that launched 1,000 rants, quietly vanish at select properties. This isn't a routine promo. It's a $35 million advertising blitz orchestrated by the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority and their agency, R&R Partners. The campaign launched September 4th, debuting on NFL Thursday Night Football, then taking over Times Square, the Strip's digital billboards, and every travel website in America. For the first time, the city's operators signed coordinated deals, minimum discounts, blackout date restrictions, and bundled offers, all locked in by official memorandums. The Welcome to Fabulous campaign isn't just a sale, it's a full-court press, with purple lights even illuminating the iconic Welcome to Las Vegas sign. Why the sudden generosity? The answer isn't buried in a press release, it's splashed across the numbers. Las Vegas has lost nearly 1 million visitors in 7 months. Hotel occupancy, once in the 90s, has crashed to 76%. Airport traffic is down, and AAA dropped the city from 6th to 10th place among summer destinations. Canadian and Mexican tourists, two of the Strip's most reliable markets, are finding new playgrounds. The city's own CFOs call it a structural crisis. Officially, the campaign is about making Vegas accessible again. Unofficially, it's a panic move. The sale wasn't on anyone's calendar until July's visitation report sent red flags through boardrooms. Internal meeting minutes, never meant for public eyes, describe mounting pressure from casino bosses, retail managers, and event planners. The message: fill the rooms or face layoffs. Consultants pitch deep discounting as the last move before mass cuts. The result is this: a city that once bragged it never needed coupons now floods the market with them. Take a look at the fine print. These aren't just random deals. Over 100 offers across every major brand, all activated by a single landing page and promo code. Some properties even waive parking fees, a move they once called impossible. The sale is everywhere, all at once. For a city built on the myth of endless demand, it's a confession in neon. Vegas is hurting, and the only thing left to sell is the illusion of value. The banners shout fabulous, but the scale of the sale asks a harder question. When did the world's most famous party town start begging for guests? There was a time when Las Vegas didn't need a sale to fill its rooms. Back then, the Strip ran on a different logic. Give away the house, and guests would stay all week. Free parking wasn't a bargaining chip, it was a birthright. The moment you pulled off Las Vegas Boulevard, you left your wallet in the glove box. Valet smiled, waved you in, and didn't charge a cent. Inside, the welcome was even warmer. Prime rib dinners for $5.99, bottomless shrimp cocktails for less than a movie ticket, and buffets that promised a mountain of food for pocket change. The casinos didn't care if you feasted like royalty. The real game was on the floor. As long as you played, the perks kept coming. Drinks arrived before you even placed your first bet. Play a little longer and the pit boss might comp your meal, your show tickets, maybe even your entire suite. It was the golden age of comps, where loyalty meant more than a rewards card and the only thing hidden was the magician's next trick. Tourists came in droves, not for luxury, but for the thrill of excess on a budget. A couple from Ohio could land at McCarran, pocket a handful of quarters, and leave feeling like high rollers. The city's secret was simple: make guests feel richer than they were, and they'd keep coming back. The math worked. Casino profits soared, not from squeezing every nickel, but from volume. Millions of visitors, each one convinced they'd found the world's best deal. Even the marketing leaned into the fantasy. What happens here stays here, but everyone went home bragging about the bargains. The competition for guests was fierce, but the weapons were value and generosity. Every property tried to outdo the next with bigger comps, cheaper buffets, and flashier freebies. There were stories, half true, half myth, about gamblers who got comped a Cadillac or a wedding just for showing up at the right table. The city's reputation as the people's playground wasn't just hype, it was a business model. For decades, Vegas thrived on the promise that anyone could live large, even if just for a weekend. Now, those memories are currency. Ask any Vegas regular over 40 and you'll get the same wistful look. They remember when the Strip was a place where hospitality meant more than a slogan, where the only fee you worried about was the tip. The city built its empire on abundance, not scarcity. That's the baseline, the Vegas that made people fall in love. What's happened since is something else entirely. Numbers don't lie, and Las Vegas's numbers look like a busted flush. In June, visitor volume dropped 11.3% compared to last year. July was even worse, down 12%. Over the first 7 months of 2025, the city logged an 8% year-over-year decline. That's nearly 1 million missing tourists gone in less than a year. Hotel occupancy, once the envy of every other city, now sits at 76%. For Vegas, that's not just soft, it's anemic. The Strip's rooms used to fill themselves. Now, even with half-off deals and waived fees, entire floors stay dark on weeknights. Airport traffic fell another 4%, and the city's bragging rights took a hit. AAA's summer travel ranking dropped Vegas from 6th place to 10th. The bleeding isn't limited to American tourists. Canadian and Mexican visitors, long considered the backbone of the city's international business, have peeled away in droves. Industry analysts say the sharpest declines are coming from these core markets. That's not a blip, it's a warning siren. CFOs at the major resorts call it a structural crisis. The volume that kept the city's wheels turning has vanished, and the math is brutal. Every point lost in occupancy means millions in revenue gone for good. For a city that once lived on margin, there's no cushion left. The fabulous 5-day sale isn't a marketing victory lap. It's a last-ditch attempt to stop the slide before empty rooms become the new normal. Reid International, the city's main gateway, has seen its own warning lights blinking red. Passenger counts fell by 4% this summer, a drop that airport analysts say hasn't happened outside of recession or pandemic years. That's thousands of empty seats on flights that once arrived packed from Los Angeles, Toronto, and Mexico City. The baggage claim lines are shorter, the taxi queue moves faster, and the rideshare lot sits half full at noon on a Saturday. Airlines quietly cut back on daily frequencies, especially for cross-border routes. Even the city's new neon-lit rideshare zone, built for crowds that never showed, feels oversized, a monument to vanished demand. Travel rankings tell the same story. AAA's annual summer list, once a victory lap for Las Vegas, now puts the city in 10th place, a 4-spot slide from last year. Orlando, San Diego, even Nashville leapfrog Vegas as preferred destinations. Behind the scenes, travel analysts point to a simple math problem. Fewer flights, fewer bookings, less buzz. The airport's own economic impact report warns that every percentage point lost in arrivals means millions less for hotels, restaurants, and workers. In a city built on volume, that kind of shrinkage isn't just a statistic, it's a slow leak no sale can patch. The banners may promise fabulous, but the numbers at the airport gate say otherwise. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority didn't just throw money at the problem, they launched a $35 million marketing cannon. R&R Partners, the city's longtime ad agency, banked the biggest campaign budget in years. The pitch? 5 days of unprecedented value, all dressed up in purple and neon, beamed coast to coast. NFL primetime, Times Square, every travel app, no screen safe from the barrage. The official sale menu reads like a fever dream from 1998. Up to 50% off rooms at the Strip's biggest names, $15.99 for a prime rib, half-price helicopter tours, and for the brave, a buffet that won't cost your entire vacation fund. Even the infamous resort fees, those $50 a night add-ons that sparked 1,000 Reddit rants, quietly disappear at select hotels. Parking, once declared untouchable, suddenly free if you know where to look. But behind the fireworks, the fine print tells another story. Every offer is locked behind a promo code and a single landing page. The discounts are real, but the clock is ticking. 5 days only, blackout dates lurking in the shadows. The city's top brass, led by CEO Steve Hill, call it a turning point. The real message is harder to miss. Vegas is trying to buy back loyalty lost to years of nickel and diming. For the first time, casino rivals signed coordinated deals, minimum discounts enforced by official memorandums. The hope is simple: flood the market with coupons and hope the crowds return. But the scale of the campaign, the sheer size of the spend, is its own confession. When the world's most famous party town needs a $35 million fire sale to fill its rooms, the party isn't just slowing down, it's running out of guests. A viral Reddit post lays it out in black and white. A photo of a $64 resort fee receipt, the only perk listed, free local calls. The caption reads, "What am I supposed to do? Call 1998 and tell them Vegas is over?" Scroll down and it's a parade of the same complaints. $9 for a cup of coffee, $35 for a cocktail, $169 for a buffet that used to be legendary for the price, not the sticker shock. One bachelor party from Chicago shares a group selfie with a $190 poolside breakfast tab and a warning: Vegas can keep its fabulous. We're headed to San Diego. The anger isn't just online. It's at the taxi stand, in the casino bars, and in the voices of workers whose shifts keep shrinking. Cocktail servers say the tips have dried up. Dealers count fewer tables and more empty chairs. A line cook at a mid-tier resort says, "They cut my hours again. Half the kitchen is on call, waiting for a crowd that never shows." The city's biggest union won't give an official quote, but members are blunt. Management keeps blaming the economy, but you can't run a city on discounts and expect workers to survive on empty shifts. Even the perks for locals feel like an apology. Caesars offers free parking and 25% off food for anyone with a Nevada ID. Perks that would have sounded like science fiction a decade ago. But the gesture lands flat. One local posts, "I used to bring friends down every weekend. Now I tell them to go to Mesquite. At least you don't get hit with a $40 parking fee." The frustration cuts across borders. Canadian and Mexican tourists, once the backbone of Vegas's international business, now post Facebook check-ins from Laughlin and Mesquite instead. A family from Monterey shares a $3,000 Vegas receipt for 2 days, mostly fees. Their verdict? That was the last straw. The sale banners shout about savings, but for many the damage is done. Vegas has spent years squeezing guests, and now the city is learning what happens when the squeezed finally walk away. Las Vegas casino floors still hum with slot machines, but the numbers behind the curtain tell a stranger story. For all the empty rooms and lost tourists, the city's gaming revenue is technically up, just barely, a 1.6% increase for the year so far. But that headline hides a deeper problem. Most of the gain comes from high-limit tables and VIP baccarat, not from the crowds that once filled every seat. On the ground, the average slot win is flat or falling, and mass market play has stalled. Chief financial officers at the big resorts admit in earnings calls they're making more per guest but from fewer guests. The model now is extraction. Milk every visitor for fees, parking, and $35 cocktails and hope the whales cover the gap. Meanwhile, Mesquite and Laughlin are quietly having their best summer in a decade. Mesquite's hotel occupancy jumped to 82% in June and July, up from 77% last year. Laughlin's visitor count rose 4.1%, a post-pandemic high. Both towns are running billboards up and down I-15. No resort fees, free parking, real value. Remember Vegas? The Mesquite Tourism Bureau credits the influx to former Vegas regulars, many from California and Arizona, who say they're done with the Strip's nickel and dime routine. Gaming win in Mesquite is up 8.7% year over year. Laughlin up 7.9%. For the first time since 2018, the Strip's share of Nevada's total gaming revenue slipped below 51%. Industry analysts are blunt. One calls the current Vegas model unsustainable, short-term profits at the expense of long-term loyalty. Another predicts even deeper giveaways to come. More waived fees, more desperate discounts, until the city either restores its value or runs out of guests to squeeze. The paradox is clear. Vegas is squeezing harder than ever, but the real winners are the towns next door. The Strip's lights still shine, but the party is starting to move down the road. In July 2025, Las Vegas saw nearly 12% fewer visitors than the year before, a drop of almost 1 million tourists. The city's answer, a $35 million Welcome to Fabulous campaign and the first ever citywide 5-day sale, marks an unprecedented attempt to win back business with half-price rooms and waived fees. This stands in sharp contrast to old Vegas, where free parking and cheap buffets built loyalty without gimmicks. Today, $50 resort fees, $40 parking, and $9 coffee have driven many away, as confirmed by both union leaders and frustrated tourists. While gaming revenue is up, the core model now relies on squeezing fewer guests for more. What remains unclear is whether these deep discounts can restore trust or simply paper over long-term damage. The evidence is clear. Las Vegas is admitting that value matters. Unless the city addresses its fee-heavy approach, the recent sale is not a comeback. It's a warning.